It is a beautiful Thursday afternoon, April 24th, 2025, Northern Ontario, Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. This is the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railroad East-West Canadian mainline, the Cartier Subdivision, C-A-R-T-I-E-R, operating between Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and in this direction, not far in this direction, we're looking east of branch. One main line goes off down to Toronto, Ontario, and one goes to Montreal, Quebec. And we saw two monster intermodal trains. I couldn't believe all the variety of container companies, many of which I'm seeing for the first time. First we saw a westbound heading from either Toronto or Montreal to Vancouver. Then we saw an eastbound. The eastbound really looked like a monster train in length, heading from Vancouver to either Toronto or Montreal. A little bit about Sudbury. At least 55 degrees Fahrenheit. The population of Sudbury is 166,004. By land area, it's the largest in Ontario and the 5th largest in Canada. The hills of rock are blackened by historical smelting activity, copper and nickel. Sudbury was once a world leader in nickel mining. Today, the nickel mining here is by two companies, Vale, V-A-L-E, and Falcon Bridge. There are currently about 5,000 miners working, compared to 25,000 years ago. And today, I was supposed to be riding the Via Rail train with Bud Company rail diesel cars from Sudbury here, from the station not far in this distance, originally the Canadian Pacific Railroad station, in this direction to White River, Ontario, almost 300 miles, and back tomorrow. And the trains have been canceled, and they operate again Saturday and Sunday, and so far they are canceled due to mechanical issues with the Bud Rail, one of the Bud Rail diesel cars. They were built by Bud Company in the 1950s at their Red Lion plant in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, by the way, these freights that we just saw had General Electric diesel electric locomotives still in the Kansas City Southern Railway beautiful Southern Belle livery. The Southern Belle was a Kansas City Southern Railway passenger train operating between Kansas City, Missouri, and New Orleans, Louisiana, I think Port Arthur, Texas. They have not yet been put in the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railroad livery. Again, a beautiful Thursday afternoon, April 24th, 2025, Sudbury, Northern Ontario, Canada, over and out.